Hello and welcome to Wellness with EAC. I am so excited you have tuned into episode 5 of our podcast. My name is Nicole Guanzura, and I have the distinct privilege of being your host. On Wellness with EAC, we are talking about career wellness, our faith journeys, and how they intersect and affect our personal and professional journeys. On today's episode, I want to talk about a topic that is very close to a lot of your minds and hearts and situations in this moment, and that is transferable skills. Transferable skills, what are those? What are they? How do they apply? How do you discover what your skills are? And also, how do you ensure that you're applying them as best as possible? So, let's get into it. Let's talk about the top 3 ways that transferable skills can help you land your next opportunity, can help you feel most confident about what's next for you in your job search. Or maybe you're using those skills to transition out of the workforce and do something different. Let's talk about it. I was on Penn State's website, their business center, and they define transferable skills as the combination of competencies, knowledge, and skills you've gained from the workplace, during your career path, from school, internships, or elsewhere to take with you to your next employment or career change. So those transferable skills, I know if you Google right now, what are the top 10 transferable skills, top 15 transferable skills, that seems to just be a buzzword. What are they really? So I like that definition that Penn State shares in that article. And I want to go further and talk more about what these skills are. Let's Let's dive into the practical, because I am someone who really learns by doing and showing in order for me to fully understand the concept. So let's dive into the second part of this. Transferable skills. How do you even discover them? An exercise I often do with my clients is a skills recognition assessment. I want folks to understand where their skills are coming from first, how they find them, how they pull from different circumstances, situations they've been in, employment opportunities, volunteer opportunities, in order to start gathering what those skills look like. So let's say you are looking for your next opportunity. You have gained a lot of skills where you are right now. You've grown as much as possible, or maybe the environment is no longer working for you and you want to try something different. So now we are at the drawing board. I want you to think about your experience right now in the role you're in specifically. What are the day-to-day skills that you're using? And these could be soft skills, these could be more technical skills. So maybe you are really good at communicating. That is something that you are applauded for. You are really great, and not just communicating that you're just going to talk at people, but you're able to strategically share, whether it's insight from the work that you're doing, you're able to talk to folks about the impact of a project. You are able to talk to them exactly and communicate as well as possible about whatever it is you're presenting to them. And people often receive it well, or they at least receive and understand what you're trying to say. And so they commend you on how great of a communicator you are. And then also interpersonal skills. Maybe you are really good at talking to people in between. I remember one skill that I was acknowledged for and still really proud of today is the ability to connect across audiences. Because right now, especially the corporate work environment, you're working with folks that are across different generations and different experiences. And so one of the things I treasure and value about myself is that I can talk to anyone. I can meet you where you are, and we can communicate and we can find a common ground. And that allows whatever I'm trying to communicate to come from a mutually understandable space. So interpersonal skills, maybe those exist for you. Maybe you are a critical thinker, right? So what are those skills that are coming from your current experience? Maybe you aren't using as many of your usual skills in the workplace right now, but you have experiences that you've had before, whether it's been previous jobs, whether it's been volunteer positions, and you're ready to apply them to the next opportunity. I want you to think about this as you do that. Think of what skills people recognize you for, what skills you've pulled from the workplace, like we did just now, and also think about what challenges have you overcome either recently or in just the last few years that have helped a new skill come as a result, a new skill form as a result. Maybe you became really, really adaptable because of a situation that you were in that really either forced you to change directions or had you change your mindset to become more adaptable to situations because of circumstances that happen. So what skills did you learn from that challenge or opportunity for growth that came? Not just in the workplace, though. Skills can be found in other places. Think about what skills are you really applauded for or recognized at home? What skills are you bringing to the table? Are you really organized? If you're anything like me, I love to organize my pantry. When I'm stressed out, I will go organize the pantry. It doesn't matter that the dishes or anything else is not done. I'm going to prioritize the pantry because I love putting everything in the baskets. Don't get it twisted. I'm not someone who wants to decant everything. I just don't have the time to do that. However, I do love baskets. I do love glass containers and making sure everything is stacked accordingly and organized and categorized. If I'm going to organize my pasta, I'm going to do it by the pasta boxes, the types of pasta, and then I'm going to put pasta sauce near it. And then I'm also going to put broth nearby because I like to boil my pasta with broth for more flavor. So I categorize to make life easier for myself. And then I also categorize the snacks that the kids are going to eat. There's baskets of the things that I know that they love every single day. And then there's the baskets of the things that maybe they should have once in a while. So that's going to be on a slightly higher shelf. But their everyday snacks that they like for school and after school are going to be organized in a certain place. Extra materials that are to be used around the kitchen or nearby, they're organized in a certain place. That brings my mind at ease. Is anybody else like that? You just go organize something to bring all the noise in your head back to center. For me, I really love to do that. And my husband always knows if I'm stressed about something or want to think through something, I'm going to organize the pantry. So think about what skills those skills, then that organization, I bring that to the workplace. I bring that to how I organize the way my day is going to function, the way I categorize and organize my Asana list at work or my folders at work and how I organize my day to day in general. So what skills do you have there? What skills did you also grow up being told you were really good at? And also, not forgetting what skills do you recognize about yourself? I'm really, really good at being a leader. I'm really good at teamwork. I'm really, really good at and being very analytical. That is my given skill set. What does that look like for you? If you're really, really good at that, what is those skills that you recognize about yourself? And so all of these skills that you're pulling in, if you're able to, maybe come back to the episode if you're driving, but if you are seated in a place where you can, start writing them down. Write down those skills, because sometimes we don't always recognize them. You know them in passing, you know them as categorized in, oh, these are my home skills, these are my work skills. But oftentimes we don't think about how they could be really, really valuable for that next opportunity you're pursuing, for also helping you understand that if your next opportunity is made of something that is going to scare you a little bit, write down the skills and recognize, oh, wow, maybe I could do this thing. Look at me. When I look at this job description that's advertised, I have all of these skills. Not all of them apply to my current job right now, but there are ways I can integrate that and help it apply to the next opportunity I am looking for. So that's the best way. I always encourage folks to recognize where all of your skills are coming from. Write them down. Start to find, are there some commonalities? Are there some, are there some skills that are really great that are coming from all of your experiences to date? And then also thinking about, then how could I apply those skills? Because then that's the third thing. We've defined what transferable skills are. And then we're also talking about where to find those skills. Oh, and then also thinking about technical skills before we move to the third, the technical skills. What kind of software are you using? What kind of tools are you using in the workplace? Look at a couple of job descriptions that you're interested in. If you're not sure of the job description, you can also easily Google, what can I do with these skills? What kind of job positions use these skills? Go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has some great features. Go and search certain types of roles or certain type of skills and go look at folks' profile and see, is that even what they started their career off doing? Did that match their job major? But more than likely, they were able to utilize the skills that they had and transition into another role. So if you're not sure how to use those skills, but back to the software. So what software are you using? What tools are you using? Maybe at work you have learned how to edit videos. And so what kind of software are you using? Because that also opens you up to the ability to maybe learn a new software at your next job, or that's already a software that they use, so it's an easy transition for you. But don't forget about the basic tools as well. Maybe you're really familiar with Google Suite and Microsoft Suite in general, or you are able to use certain tools, Zoom, Teams, some of the basics, Outlook, Gmail, some of the basic skills that are required in a number of roles. So don't forget about those too, along with the specific technical skills that you have learned along the way. Now, let's talk about how you apply these. So you have your list, you've put your list down of, this is what I'm pretty good at. This is what I think I could apply in my next role, in my next opportunity. This is what I could apply as I transition out of the workforce. And now I'm making a resume that's geared towards showcasing my skills to, be a subcontractor on a certain opportunity, to do government contracting. This is how I can utilize some of these skills in talking about my past performance on a capability statement. So there's so many ways that you could apply these skills. So let's start specifically with a resume for a role. So if you're looking for your next job, the next step in your career, now that you have these skills, I don't recommend just going and listing off all of these skills and just say, here, this is what I have, right? Remember in college, maybe you're writing just, oh, these are a couple of the relevant courses I have. So you're just going to list, oh, I'm taking, insert your whole your whole course list. But what are you learning from there? I always tell people when you're working on a resume, what is the so what, right? Why should the hiring manager care? Why should the recruiter look at your resume a little bit closer over someone else's? I used to look at resumes when I worked in admissions, when I was looking at business school applicants, looking also at prospective intern resumes, looking at students who wanted to participate in conferences. So I've read resumes in different perspectives, from students who are trying to get to a conference to folks who are in the C-suite level, vice VP level at large corporations that are trying to get into business school. And we've got to look at that entire package. And so I was always looking at the so what? How well are you communicating the skills and the experiences that you have? So when you're looking at your resume, look at the job description that is written out. If a company is using software like the ATS systems, they are looking for specific keywords. They're looking at, okay, at the very base, do you have some similar skills? Do you have some of those keywords that are in that resume, so they can even start looking and filter your resume out as a potential for them to review at a later stage, to potentially bring you in for an interview. So if you are submitting a resume and the system doesn't even pick up anything that is remotely familiar or similar to the role, that's not going to be good. Your chances of getting kicked out of the system immediately are very high. So as you're putting your resume together, look at what that job description says, look at your skill set, look at your experience, and now let's start putting that together. Say you're in a position and you want to highlight some of your analytical skills or some of the results that have come out of you doing some work. So then you want to arrange your statements in a way that, using this skill, or I was able to increase admissions, or I was able to increase the performance of X, Y, and Z by X% using this skill or tool that resulted in this. So you want to position it in a way that in one quick sentence, someone can see, oh, okay, so I'm able to see your analytical skills because I can see how you were able to make a difference in this thing. I could see what tool you might have utilized or what skill you might have utilized. And then I can also see what the result was. So this is in addition to, of course, seeing whatever the title of the role was. This is in addition to seeing the work you were doing. But they need to be able to see more than just you regurgitating or repeating or spitting out what was already in the job description when you were given, because that job became that much better when you put your spin on it. You were the special sauce. So tell them how, right? Spill the tea on what that special sauce is and what results you've been able to garner as a result. So that's how you can start to apply those skills. And then also, there's a section of your resume when you can talk about your technical proficiencies. And that's where you can now list the tools you're using, the software you're using. So again, if the job description says Microsoft Excel required, your resume should have Microsoft Excel, right? So then it's one-to-one matching. There's some things that are there. If the job description says that you need to be a great communicator, something in your resume, in your experience, in your bulleted points should talk about your ability to communicate. And don't just say, I'm a great communicator. You instead say something like, I was able to communicate this thing to X number of people, which resulted in this. So then that is something you're able to use. And then of course you can always Google um, some resume buzzwords that you can use, that can help just better present what you're trying to say. But those keywords are important, and it makes it so much easier and reduces your mental load when you are able to communicate directly, when you're able to look at your skills and then start penning those to paper. Not just for the resume, though. Another way you can apply the skills is in talking in an interview, in a cover letter. Yes, there's still companies that require cover letters, and some won't let you submit without one. So if that job is really worth it to you, just play the game, do what needs to be done. And so you can communicate in that cover letter, especially if you're switching roles, if you're switching maybe industries. A cover letter, in addition to a strong resume that highlights those skills, is going to talk about what you were doing, what skills you possess, what experiences you have that are really going to resonate and connect with this role, that are going to make you the best candidate for the role that you are applying for. So those transferable skills apply in the cover letter. They apply in the interview. If you're going through a screening interview, if you're going through any part of the interview process, have those skill sets in mind. Have a couple of them, of course, that are relevant to the role, but you can continue to talk about them, continue to paint the picture, build the story of, this is why I'm a really good candidate for this role, because of the skills I have. This is the reason why I'm transitioning into this particular industry, into this particular area, because this is where my interest stems. Because on a day-to-day at work, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, which applies here. But outside of work, when I am connecting with folks in a volunteer role, or I'm outside playing pickleball, whatever it is, these are the skill sets I'm using that have helped me recognize that this is what I'm able to do. Me creating projects with my kid at Home Depot on a weekend or whatever craft store have helped me realize that these are skills that I also possess. Me being up at 2 o'clock in the morning, fixing a kink on my website and learning what certain things do and don't do and what they can cause to break and how to fix that. These are skills I'm developing. These are skills that I can now apply to help do this. These are the skills that I can now utilize to help you do this. So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you really think about what transferable skills are. It helps you then really think about what's next. What are they? How do I figure them out? And how do you apply them as well? Because oftentimes you hear about it, buzzword, 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 but how do you apply them? How do you use them? How do you even find them? So I want to meet you where you are, and I want you to take what you need from this conversation. There'll be more of this to come as we go through our career wellness series, as we go through the podcast. We're working on a course right now that is going to dive deeper into transferable skills and helping you just work real time with some examples, with some support for you. But in the meantime, take what you need from right here. Pause the episode, replay the episode, keep it with you on the go. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. It is precious and valuable time. So I hope that you were able to get some value from this conversation. If you did, please leave us a review. We would love to hear your thoughts. Leave us a comment as well about what other topics you want to discuss on this podcast. We'd love to hear them, want to record about them, and help you learn more about it. Until next time, be well, take care. It has been a pleasure to be with you, and excited to hear your feedback. Take care.